What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, the Bad Diggity Dizzle, back with another video. And in this one, I kind of want to discuss Saquon Barkley and the offensive line as it does pertain to Saquon Barkley. Now, there's been many arguments, and again, we talk about this almost every video, every live stream, whatever, because the New York Giants, a lot of fans want an offensive line, and I get that. A lot of guys want Isaiah Simmons. I get that too. Listen, man, we got a lot of holes, so it really doesn't matter. We have to fill these holes eventually, and yes, the offensive line is a pressing need. There's no doubt about that, and I get the argument for left tackle, right tackle, whatever you want to call these guys. I get the argument for offensive line for our young quarterback, Daniel Jones. I get that. He didn't have a good offensive line last year. He has a tendency to hold on to the ball too much. He fumbled the ball a lot, and we ended up turning it over a lot because of the pressure that got to Daniel Jones. There's no doubt about that. But when I hear the argument where guys are talking about how we need that offensive line for Saquon Barkley, we need the offensive line from Saquon Barkley, well, that I kind of wonder how much Saquon Barkley really needs the offensive line. Now, I went into the Entertainers live stream last night, and, you know, I'm sitting there, and I asked guys, I said, what do you think the offensive line, which offensive line was better? The one that we had in 2018, the one we had in 2019, and most people said the one we had last year was actually a better offensive line. I take a look at the guys that were here in 2018, okay? So left tackle was Solder, left guard was Will Hernandez. That remained the same in 2019. Spencer Pulley was our center in 2018. The right guard was Jamon Brown at the end of the year. I don't even remember who started left tackle, or I'm sorry, right guard for us at the beginning of the year. I can't even remember. And then a right tackle, it started with Eric Flowers, who we all know is an absolute train wreck, and finished with Chad Wheeler, who was rated the worst lineman in the league. The worst lineman in the league was Chad Wheeler. Okay? So that's how bad that 2018 offensive line was. Yet Saquon Barkley in his rookie season rushed for 11 touchdowns, averaged 5 yards a carry, had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, and led the league in scrimmage yards with a really bad offensive line. And there's no doubt about that, okay? Last year, we all know he got hurt in the game against Tampa. He had no yards in that game. Then he missed the next 3 games. And there's many people that will tell you he came back too soon and really didn't find his footing until the game against Miami, where he started to really play well at the end of the season. And again, you look at the offensive line last year. It's Nate Solder, it's Will Hernandez, it's John Jalapeno at center, who we all know is absolutely god-awful. Kevin Zeitler at right guard, and as good as Jamon Brown was, Zeitler was an upgrade at right guard and played very well for us. And, you know, we had a combination of Mike Remmers over at right tackle and Nick Gates, who played well at the end of the season. And again, even though Saquon Barkley was banged up and probably came back 3 games too early, still had over 1,000 yards on the ground, averaged more than 4.5 yards a carry, only had 6 touchdowns, and he only had 52 catches for 438 yards. So again, he had 1,441 yards from scrimmage. So Saquon Barkley, in an injury-plagued season with a bad offensive line, still managed to have 1,441 total yards from scrimmage and 8 touchdowns. I don't know how much Saquon Barkley needs the offensive line. Now, would it benefit him? Absolutely. I'm not going to say that that's not going to benefit him, and it would be great to get him wide open in space. It would be great to have these guys pry open holes for Saquon Barkley so that he can explode through the line. But I guess my point is in this video is that how important is it, because he's played behind some awful offensive lines and still puts up fantastic numbers. You know, so like I said, I get the argument for Daniel Jones. He hasn't had a good offensive line. He's a quarterback. That's a much different position than a running back. And Barry Sanders was able to do this too. You know, and I mean, Saquon Barkley is the closest thing I've seen to Barry Sanders since Barry Sanders. And I'm not really going to say that he's going to be Barry Sanders. He has to do this his entire career in order to be compared to Barry. But, Sanders also is a guy that made his own holes, made his own adjustments, and found ways to get through, you know, offensive lines that weren't the best and didn't have the best offensive players around him. And a guy still was leading the league in rushing yards, had over 2,000 yards one year. And, you know, he ran out of a run and shoot most of his career. The year that he did get a lead blocker as a fullback, he went over 2,000 yards. So I guess my point is, you know, all these guys that argue about the offensive line, do we need that for Barkley? I just don't see it. I mean, again, I understand that it'll help, but I don't think it's a necessity for him as much as it is Daniel Jones. That's kind of what I thought. You know, let me know what you think. I know there's going to be a lot of people that disagree with me, and that's fine, man, because, again, I understand that it'll help him, but I don't think it's a necessity for him. I think he can still produce even with a makeshift and decent offensive line. Again, I don't think you need to go left tackle in the first round for him, is what I'm saying. The center, I want the center in the second round, and I've said this a number of times, and we'll say it till the night we draft. Left tackle and center, right tackle and center, first 2 picks, I'm fine with that. I just don't see the argument for we need the offensive line for Barkley. You need it for Daniel Jones, I'll give you that. I don't think you need it for Saquon Barkley. That's all I got to say in this video, guys. Again, I'll be live tonight at 10:30, so I hope to see you there. Until then, it's the Bad Diggity Dizzle, and I am gone. Peace!